Chickenpox. If you are like most people, you've probably had it at least once. It's like a childhood rite of passage. And even if you didn't have them, you at least know what they look like. Yep, those signature red spots. But what exactly is chickenpox? And why does nearly everyone get it? Chickenpox is an extremely contagious disease caused by the varicella zoster virus, or VZV, which is actually a type of herpes that's also responsible for shingles. Before the chickenpox vaccine was introduced in 1995, there were about 4 million cases of it per year. But since the introduction of the vaccine, incidences have declined nearly 80%. Chickenpox is famous for causing fever, fatigue, and a blister-like rash that itches like the dickens. The rash typically first appears on the stomach, back, and face, and can then go on to spread over the entire body, with up to as many as 500 fluid-filled blisters. Blisters can even show up inside your mouth and eyelids. Ugh. Some people think this is actually why it's called chickenpox, because it looks like you got pecked by a chicken. The blisters eventually turn into scabs, but it usually takes about a week for them all to make the transition. So, how do you deal with the itching? Wear light and loose bedclothes that won't irritate the blisters. You could also take warm baths using little soap. Oatmeal baths are also recommended and help soothe the skin. An over-the-counter hydrocortisone cream or calamine lotion can also offer relief from the itching. And if you do surrender to scratching, one tip is to wear gloves on your hands to avoid damaging your skin and potential scarring with your nails. But how do you get chickenpox in the first place? Well, it's super contagious, so the virus can easily spread through touching, breathing in the virus particles, and possibly even through tiny droplets infected people put into the air for breathing or talking. The virus can also live dormant on surfaces for a short period of time. And someone with the disease can spread it from 1 to 2 days before their rash shows up until their blisters have turned to scabs, which is usually between days 7 and 5. The good news is that people typically won't get chickenpox more than once in their lives, though some have gotten it twice or even 3 times. But for the most part, after one infection, the virus will lay dormant in your body. However, sometimes, years or decades later, the virus may reactivate and cause shingles, which is a very painful condition resulting in a red rash with fluid-filled blisters. And, strange fact, chickenpox parties have actually been held to intentionally expose a child to infected children in order to contract the disease. For the record, this is a bad idea. Chickenpox can potentially be very serious, especially for infants or individuals with weak immune systems, so it's not worth the risk of exposing someone to the disease. Rather, the best means of protection from chickenpox is to get vaccinated. 2 doses of the vaccine are 90% effective at preventing the diseases, which ultimately prevents outbreaks by decreasing the chance of exposing others to the illness. In the 10% of people that do get chickenpox after being vaccinated, these cases end up being much more mild than those contracted by the unvaccinated. So, think about getting vaccinated if you haven't been already, and definitely take a rain check to any chickenpox parties you might have gotten invited to.
Nameless.